So, can we start with knowing something about you, your name, your country, your education, background, anything?
Yeah, I'm Florian. I'm from Germany. I graduated high school March this year,
Okay.
and yeah, studies start in October. So you
Okay.
get the 4 month.
Okay.
So you get the 4 month chunk of time where you can just do whatever you like, and lots of people from Germany they actually go traveling during that time.
Okay. This is part of your studies.
No, it's not. I will start in October this year.
Okay. So this is time in between two classes.
No, I graduated high school.
Yes. And
Yeah,
you are going to start something new.
and to go to college.
Okay. And this is the leisure time that you
Yeah,
have.
you can theoretically. Where I'm from, it's the only region in Germany where you graduate a bit earlier.
Okay.
So there are 2 semester starts. It's one in April, one in October.
Okay.
So you could theoretically start April already,
Okay.
but nobody does that.
Okay.
A lot of people they travel during that time. So I know a friend of mine are in Montreal, Canada. They're going to New York next week. Vietnam, Southeast Asia, a couple of people. Good friend of mine is in New Zealand. I'm in Japan. Yeah.
So this is, you can say, part of your culture. That after graduating from the high school, most of the people want to travel
Yeah.
outside their country.
I think it's a general thing people like to do, traveling.
Okay.
I also know people that don't do it. I have a lot of, it's more a 50-50 thing, I would say.
Oh, okay.
So some won't even start studying this year. They just, yeah, they don't even know what they want to do.
Uh-huh.
And they are working, just enjoying life apart from school.
How old are you?
19.
19.
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking for from this visit of Japan? You are going to spend 4 months in Japan?
Yeah, so it's my last month in Japan.
You have already spent 3 months.
Yes,
Nice.
I arrived in Japan May 5th,
Okay.
and I will leave end of August.
Okay. So what is in between? What was you trying to achieve? Where have you reached for these 4 months?
Um, so you're asking what my plan was,
Yes.
why I went to Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think just because of traveling. The initial idea was to go to Canada
Okay.
and then do a road trip through America.
Okay.
So start in Vancouver and then go just all the way across.
Okay.
But that was a bit too expensive.
Uh-huh.
Like, what if the car breaks down? They have costs there. It's like many uncertainties where you have to have a bigger budget. So we went for Japan, and there was nothing like really special why we chose Japan. It's just like came up and we said like, okay, let's go for it.
So it was a random decision for Japan.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was, we were doing working holiday, and there aren't that many countries where you can do it.
Uh-huh.
And my friend, he proposed, let's do Japan.
Okay.
And yeah, now we're here.
That brings me to my next question. How do you finance this tour? Is it your parents or?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, you save some money during high school because
Okay.
your parents pay for most of it. At high school, I don't know how is it other countries, but in Germany it's free.
It's no education fee.
No,
Yeah.
it's like some for books, but it's minor stuff. And if you're a family that can't afford it, you always get support from the government.
Okay.
And so yeah, you work, have like free-time job.
Part-time job.
That's what.
Okay.
Yeah, part-time job. That's the word. And then after, so I graduated. Yeah, that's actually I. So the writing, the graduation, the writing graduation. You have writing and you have speaking.
Okay.
And writing is in January.
Okay.
And between writing is in January, and then speaking examination is in March. So you have just time where you can study a bit, but you don't study every day.
Exactly.
So you have time where you can work. So that's where I started to work for a gardener.
Okay.
That's how I made a lot of money for this traveling here in Japan. And then for graduation, you get some gifts from family members. And yeah, that's about it.
That means you started planning this tour 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
So you knew that you will need this money
Yeah.
because you will be traveling
Yeah.
in between that gap.
Yeah, we organize it online, find house where we can stay. So we work here, and as a return, we get free accommodation and rice and noodles, which isn't that big of a deal.
Uh-huh.
But accommodation, it's
That is
it's
free
a
for you.
relief.
That is free for you. The accommodation here in Japan is free because you are doing the volunteer work.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you are not earning from this place, but you are not paying for your residence. So
yes.
that is great. Would you like to talk about your parents, what they do?
They are in chemistry laborant. Is that a word?
Laboratory?
Laboratory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know BASF? BASF?
No.
No, okay.
Okay. Okay, so what are your future plans? From here on, you are going to do your bachelor's after this?
Yes, I will start in October in Karlsruhe. My bachelor's economic engineer.
Economic engineer.
That's how it's
Interesting.
called. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what have you learned from this tour? I mean, can you list few things that you have learned? Because Japan is something, is a country where you can learn a lot from people, from traveling, from the landscape and anything.
Yeah, I've definitely learned or practiced my social skills. That's for sure.
And can you elaborate this point, because this is very important, social skills?
Yeah, so the thought that when there's a stranger on the street and you want to talk to him or ask something or just have a conversation, the thought of, like the thought, the doubts you have, what if the person doesn't want to talk to me? What if, like all those if questions, they just become more silent when you practice more. And you're not afraid anymore that of the no that may come, because you don't know. You can just try it, and if they say no, you know it for sure. But if you don't try it, you
don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's you have learned approaching a stranger.
Yeah, like I've already felt comfortable talking to strangers or like talking to people. But I think the main obstacle is to get the conversation starting. And I think I got better in that a lot.
Breaking the barrier. So, just extending this discussion, how are you reaching to the strangers now? I mean, is there a particular way that you have learned, or it's a generic, or it's something new all the time?
It's just like, it could be if the other person is open for the conversation. What I've experienced is that no matter what you say, if you're just saying, oh, the weather is nice today, just like the most basic thing, they will also always respond. And you can tell by their body language at first, okay, if they're open or not. And then you're doing the first step, and you will see if they respond or not, just like a bit approaching. And if you're recognizing, okay, they're open for a conversation, then you can go and talk about whatever you like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, are you afraid of failure? Means you consider this a failure when somebody don't respond to you when you approach them?
Yeah, it's when, yeah, I would say your goal is to talk to them, and if they don't want to talk to you, it's...
You get offended?
No, I don't.
A little bit?
No,
not at all?
No, because I just imagine it could be so much going on in the person's life. Maybe they're just focused on something, they're sad, whatever, or they are just not the talking guy. So you don't have to be the reason why they don't talk. It's just like something else is going on. So you just go on.
It's not you.
No.
So it's something in their life.
Yeah.
Something about them. So you don't take it personally. That's
no, and even if it's because might come to the other person as stupid, then that's the case. Then
so it's you don't take it on you at all. This is very interesting, and this is, I think, the best part to learn in this area of discussion. Great. And as a person, are you a shy person, or you have been a shy person, an introvert, maybe?
I would say when I'm meeting person, I got better with that here in Japan, but back in Germany, when I'm with my friends, I'm really extroverted.
Yes, of course.
I'm really like, I wouldn't when you ask my friends, is Florian an extrovert or an introvert? I think they will say I'm an extrovert, but still I like the time. I'd like to spend time on my own, and I like to at first I'm a bit shy when I approach people. I got better with that, like I said, like the first step doing that.
The basic definition for introvert and extrovert is that, let's clear that and then we move forward. An introvert would recharge himself when he is alone. When he is alone.
Recharge. Yes.
An extrovert will recharge himself when he's with people.
Okay, then I'm introvert.
So then you are an introvert.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But still, you have learned the skill to approach strangers. This is a big achievement, I would say, in this trip, because this is and
that's cool.
Introverts. This is what introverts lack. They don't, like doing that. So you have crossed that barrier. I would say that.
Yeah, I got better in that for sure.
Okay. And what are your belief systems regarding religions? I mean, you follow any religion?
No, I'm Christian.
Okay, because you are born in Christian family?
Yeah, and because of my mother, she's a Christian. She's going to church regularly, and when I was young, that was also for me just the default that I go to church, and I served as a servant doing the church ceremony.
Okay,
I did that for a while. But my beliefs are different. I haven't figured that out, to be honest, completely. I'm just like, I'm saying there's something with the universe.
Okay.
That's like maybe pulling some strings, but it's just something musical I have in my head. So I'm not saying I'm a Christian or that's what I believe. That's what I believe. But I have to say I've talked to, I have a friend in Germany who's a Muslim.
Okay.
And I've talked to him, and he talked about his religion and his beliefs, and they sounded really logical and appealing, and more logical and appealing than the Christians do.
Uh-huh. Okay, you can pass any question that you would not like to answer, so we
Yeah.
can go to the next question.
Yeah.
And at any part of your life, would you think that who has created you like a human being, a very complex structure, somebody has, or it's just at its own, like the Darwin theory?
Right. Well, I didn't get the question, to be honest.
You know, I mean, would you at any point of your life think that who must have created you,
Created. Uh-huh.
a human being, who
Yeah.
must have created him?
If I think what I think created me.
Created means there is a being, there is a human being who can think.
You don't mean the physical one.
The physical one.
You mean the physical.
Yeah.
It
means like, who has created a human being?
Oh, you
like
mean at the
table,
start, at the beginning?
Yes, the table. Somebody has created this table. No? It was a tree.
Mm.
So how did this human being come into the physical shape?
Okay.
It's so beautiful. I mean, the humans are so beautiful.
I don't have an answer to that question, to be honest.
You don't think that way up till now?
I'm not saying. I mean, I'm not declining that it's the case. I'm not also saying that it shouldn't be the case. Or like I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I'm just haven't
you
figured
have not
out the
figured
question.
it out as
yes,
yet.
I haven't figured it out.
I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you, or in general, first you can talk about your country in general, and then you can talk about specifically you. How do you like spending your leisure time? Means out of the studies or out of the everything else, the time that you get.
Doing sports.
Sports, okay.
Yes. Then in nature, I would say nature is a big part.
Okay.
And
can you elaborate this point? The nature, big part. How would you dive into nature? How would you explore nature?
Just take a walk.
Just take a walk in a park?
Yeah. Okay. I don't really care, like mountain park. Doesn't really matter to me.
Okay. And it relaxes you as a person?
Yeah, you get off the it's not that much noise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would say.
Okay. And in general, in your country, how they spend their leisure time?
In general, a lot of people drink.
Uh-huh.
I like that as well, but I'm more like the social aspect of drinking. You get to meet people, and they can drink, and I don't have to drink. I'm not that big drinker. I enjoy spending time, and I might have a couple beers.
Okay.
But it's not my goal to get like super drunk. And
you don't like it that way?
No, I don't. But I like spending time, and so meeting up with friends to drink is still fun thing because you get to meet them, you get to talk to people. So it's like a mixture of both, spending time alone, spending time with people, finding a balance with that. But that's not the usual. Yeah, wine fests are really big in where I'm from. So at some point you are, people look at you in a strange way when you don't drink wine. It's really standardized to drink.
You're saying that they will consider you out of their league if you are not drinking.
They have this, the image that you have to drink is so big that, and it's so usual for them that if you don't drink, they think there's something wrong with you, or maybe not. Yeah, you don't fit in.
Yes. So they don't consider you one of you.
Yeah.
So out of the league that.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you make out of your life? What would you want to make something out of your life?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Say contribute.
Contribute. Okay, nice.
Just like I've felt that during my time here stronger, or it rose more, like the urge to contribute to the world in some way, to provide something, to make an impact. No matter how. I haven't figured out how, but the will is there, I would say.
One way or the other, you will find a way to add value in your society, in your surrounding.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And does your friend at your age think the same way? Like for their life, what are they going to do with their life? Most of the people around you.
I think a lot. When you come out of high school in Germany, doesn't really prepare you for the life that comes afterwards.
So what is lacking? Interesting.
Just it's more, you're in a bubble, kind of.
Okay.
So you're learning, and you're always like that's just the, if you swim with the swarm, you will always perform best. And you're learning things that maybe aren't even that necessary later in life, that you aren't even interested in. My friend, he thinks German sucks.
Okay, as a language.
No, like the subjects.
The
German.
subject. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think German lessons were pretty cool.
Okay.
He thinks math was in the degree we had not necessary.
Okay.
I think that it's not a bad thing. But then you learn, for example, if you're not into biology, you have to learn of something about chemistry or biology. It's like you have to do stuff that you actually don't want to do, and that brings you to a point in life where you actually don't know the stuff about yourself, because everybody is different and has different interests.
Exactly, but they are studying everyone same thing.
Yeah, it's just like just same. Everybody has to do the same, and I think
it should be more individualized.
Yeah, I would say that, and more. For example, you don't learn anything about. Some people do if you take but it's not general. If you're taking sports as your major, you learn a lot about health and diet and working out, but that's only out of 100 people, that's 10, because only 10 people are in sports major. So 90% who graduate don't know anything. If they don't do their own research, they don't know anything about health, they don't know anything about diet, which is, I think, important for life. And then you have maybe mindset you have to have in life to succeed. You don't learn anything about that. You don't. It's a lot that doesn't prepare you. For example, finance, taxes. You don't learn that. Everybody has to do that.
We will come back to this point just before that, because this we are going to already discuss in detail. What do you learn and what should we learn? Because this is part of discussion. But when do you start your studies? Like at what age? You start your studies at 2 years old, 3 years old?
So you have kindergarten.
Kindergarten, okay.
Yeah, which is more like getting to contact with other children, having the social aspect. You do some. No, you don't learn. You have a bit basic stuff But
At
it's
what age you start that?
at
3?
no, like couple, maybe 1 year. But
Oh,
it's really basic.
okay.
And then you get to elementary school at 6 years.
Okay.
No, it's 3. It's 3. I actually don't. 2 years maybe. No, not 1 year. 2 years.
When you are 2 years old,
3 years. 2 years.
you start
Kindergarten.
kindergarten. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is a nursery or a school. What is that called?
So it's basically the parents can put their children to some place,
Okay.
and the people that work there, I don't know the English word right now, they pay attention and they kind of take care,
Okay.
so they can work. That's I think that's the main purpose of it. And you also get to meet other children, and it's fun, and you can play.
You do activities.
Yeah,
and you learn from them.
Yeah,
as well.
you have big playing ground and something inside where you can play with like tiny Lego or whatever. It's just like playing, but it's not education. And then when you're 6, you get into elementary school.
Okay.
Which is from 6 to 10. And then when you're 10 years old, the teacher kind of evaluates you.
Okay.
So you have high school, then you have something that is of a lower degree. Okay, you have high school,
Okay.
which is Gymnasium. It's the German word.
Okay.
And then you have something lower called Realschule.
Okay.
And then there's something in between that is a mixture out of both.
Okay.
And the graduation for college, you can only get from the upper 2, right? And the teacher, as you have every student after when they're 10, they have a conversation with parents and teacher, and you're just sitting there and watching. You don't really take part in the conversation.
Okay.
And the teacher then tells you where to go, or where the teacher would advise you to go. It's not mandatory, but when you're with your parents, when you're going to the school and you're applying, then the school sees where the teacher, what the teacher from elementary school recommended you to go.
Okay. They will recommend a field?
Yeah, they recommend either like Gymnasium or Realschule or something in between.
Okay.
Like the school in between.
Okay.
And you might still, for example, a good friend of mine, the teacher evaluated her to Realschule.
Okay.
But she then actually figured, okay, it's too easy. And she went to Gymnasium and still was pretty good in school.
Good at it. Okay. So who takes the blame if a student, say, is not performing? Who will take the blame? The parents or the teachers?
Yeah, I would say at elementary school, it's still a thing for parents
will take
supervise your homework and your performance in school. You learn it in school. They tell you what's going on. But the practice where you're really learning is taking place at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, after education, do you think you are prepared to take your life on? Like, have you learned about investing? Have you learned about financial management?
No, like that's such a big part that's important for life, but you don't learn anything about it.
Not even in your country, because we think Germany is far better a country in this regard, in the education system, I can say. And you are saying that even they don't teach you regarding the psychology of money, regarding the investment.
No, like even it's important to succeed in life to have some sort of mindset, to know stuff about investing, to know how money works,
Yes.
to know how to take care of yourself, that you can perform, like with diet, with sport, whatever serves you. And that's missing completely.
Completely missing up till high school, or
No, even after high school.
even after high school.
You get, so investing, there's nothing. I learned nothing about money, nothing.
Okay.
Only what you get maybe a bit is about diet, because when you have biology and you have a smart teacher, it's really depending on the teacher. If you have a smart teacher, then he might drop something, but it's not in the like the schedule. There's a schedule what the teacher has to teach the children, the students. And I don't believe there's anything about diet and how to eat healthy, or something similar in that way, or how to not even to speak how to invest, or
how to carry yourself, how to,
or even like communication skills, how do you communicate, how to convince people, how to, I think communication is a really big part, because that's like everything you have to convey your opinion and your thoughts. And you have some presentation where you're like, then you use some pictures, and when you have the text, don't make it too small. But how you actually have to talk, there's not much going on.
Okay. We have been blaming our education system for this, because we have been saying that they are teaching us physics, chemistry, and math, and they're not teaching us actual life. But it's something for me to learn that even you have this problem in German education as well.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can, when you're really eager, you can learn it online. But
it's, self-learning.
That's not how it's supposed to be, I think.
Exactly. Because there are, two learnings, self-learning and formal learning. So if it is not part of formal learning, self-learning is not that big thing, because only few people who would want, or who has this in their mind, or who are getting this from their families or surrounding, they will learn something. But, formal learning is something that should be there.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping the video.